Good morning, Internet. It's a lovely day. I have some lovely cats. And we're here with another episode of L'Aurora versus Hardcore Minecraft, now with extra terms and conditions. For a full detail on what those sort of terms and conditions are, you could check out some of my previous videos. But if you don't want to do that, the quick summary is that I've been theming my entire challenge run along the lines of being a very devoted follower to the unconquered sun. Hence why we have an excessive amount of light fascination everywhere. And I'm in hardcore, because it would not be unconquered if I allowed actually dying during this challenge. You know, we have some lovely stairs up to the mountain, but we don't yet have the sun temple on top of this mountain. I could fix that. However, there is one specific block that I have not been able to find for making my sun temple, and we are going to find it today, so help me. So, we're hunting for azalea trees. At the end of the last episode, I walked about 2,000 blocks south, not north, south. I'd gotten the two of them mixed up. Today, we're going to be walking possibly that far north. And I think with that, I am reasonably prepared to begin another expedition. Come on, cat. Come on, good boy. Perhaps I should have brought a boat with me. On the other hand, I'd only be able to bring one of my good pets in the boat, and the other one would be left behind. And what would I do without these two cuties both following me? Well, I don't think this is a lush cave, but it's an interesting cave formation. I don't like that. Let's start sprinting on off so that my pets don't drown themselves by accident. I still have not quite figured out exactly what my first wolf did to drown itself. But I have a solid do not like it when my pets drown. And look at that! I see an azalea tree. Now here's hoping this is a friendlier lush cave than the one I have under my Titancraft base, and I don't trip face first into a lush cave-filled mine shaft. Well, I instead appear to have tripped into a cave full of disappointment. And if I follow this rooted dirt on down, it should eventually open up into a cave that has glowberries. And I hear the sound of spiders, which is the sound of there being a cave nearby, but also the sound of there being cave nearby. Unlit. And full of terror. And now, before I jump down, let's just light it on up. Why do I always flinch at the sound of my pickaxe breaking? I already hate this cave. I already hate it. Okay, at this point, nothing should jump down on me. From at least that one specific angle. Oh, I hate that. Just remember, any cave formation that you don't like, you can board on up. It's a nice thing about Minecraft. The bad thing is that you still have to hear all of the mobs. Well, I now have an infinite supply of moss. An infinite supply of drift leaf. And an infinite supply of glowberries. And with this, I believe I never need to go down into the underground ever again. Isn't that neat how that works? Or, I mean, I will, but I don't have to go caving, I can do nice, safe quarrying. Alright, and I don't have clay, because I was assuming that... No! I don't have a mason villager, do I? But I can make one. Pointed dripstone has not yet produced more tiny little pointed dripstone. Disappointing. Now let me just test one other very specific thing. It appears that moss does not catch fire even if you literally have lava right next to it. Does an azalea tree. Let's leave it sitting there and we'll find out. Now let's grab my leather boots so I don't have to worry about potentially falling into powdered snow on my way south. And go retrieve a certain saddle. Except I just realized without slime I can't make a lead. And without a lead I won't be able to secure my horse. Botheration. I don't want to lose another horse to it running off into the distant wilderness, never to be heard from again. Oh, for the love of light! What is with these ruined nether portals? On the other hand, love of light. I see a gold block. And that is the villager whose bed I stole. Perhaps it is this leather worker. Also, I feel like those were not the trades he had last episode. But I have given up on keeping track of those sorts of minor details. Ah! Powdered snow. Also, I have this feeling like I'm lost. Come now, 'tis water above my dripstone. Why is it not growing? There's a dripstone block, there's a water source block. There's a nice little pointy spike. There is what appears to be a solid confirmation that moss does not catch fire. Which means that I will be able to use it as intended on my sun temple. Haveth glow lichen. And in my inventory the shears with which to move it. Now, to compare, on a few variants of blocks, the appearance of yon mossy mithril filigree. The filigree stands out, much sharper, but it blends so well onto the diorite. It does not, however, quite go with the birch. However, I think it goes lovely on my interior pillars. I have the feeling I will need a vast quantity of bone meal that I do not currently have. And there we go with that. I believe I now finally have a sufficiency of mithril filigree inside my base. And no more reasons with which to procrastinate working on my temple build. Now, I just want to count in the nice easy manner of actually counting, or not quite counting blocks. So I had 40 and that's 23. That's back to 24, and I believe at that point, that is exactly 10. course, whether or not I want it to be exactly 10 is an entirely different question. I really need to stop wasting diamond pickaxe durability backtracking on ideas that I have already sketched out. So here we have the base plus shape. Now I would love to put birch pillars in here, but if I'm going to use lava to decorate any portion of my temple, the entire temple probably needs to be lava-proof. I can't have lava in the ceiling and wood supports. Actually, pretty sure. Worst case scenario, the first edition of my temple is going to burn down. A slope of 1 or a slope of 2 on the outer pyramid, you think? Let's do it at 1 slope and see how tall that gets me. On the one hand, that looks tall. On the other hand, that does not look central build of my hardcore world tall. Also, there is just not enough space here to do some of the permutations on the design I was thinking of. I presume a pivot there. There is 3 blocks clearance on this side. Okay. That, obviously, cannot be birch for what I'm planning on doing with it. I'm thinking the non-birch pillars then have to be diorite. Now, I'm going to sketch out all of the flow behavior in water before I apply any lava to this, because, oh boy, I do not want lava getting loose on my mountain uncontrollably. You know what? That's a nice wall height. And then it comes pouring on down into this here channel. Except, actually, those are going to be dripstone blocks, so that I can farm lava inside my sun temple. But don't you mind. We can sketch it in diorite while I wait for my dripstone to grow, darn it! Seriously, how long does it take dripstone to grow? I feel like I'm going insane here. Let's assume then, actually, a slope of 3 for my ominous pyramidal. Which then only goes up 2 on the final bit of run here. But that still looks lovely and intimidating. I think this is still going to be a much more cramped sun temple than my previous build. But with any luck, it's still going to look amazing. Also, with any luck, that's going to be far enough that that's not going to catch on fire if I put lava there. Okay, I'm going to want to test the flow behavior using water, but let's test the flammability using actual lava, because I don't think anything less than that's going to work. And I might just have to pay my villagers a visit and see if I can't acquire more bell. In addition to potentially varying up the walls with more detailing, like some polished granite, I also intend on covering the entire outside of the pyramid in an excessive amount of candles. However many candles you think too many candles is, add more to that. Let's remove those and have more lush greenery. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to do something with that design. But I also want to kind of have the central cross that has little, if no, overhang. Particularly this central block, no ceiling at all. Now let's also distort the entire shape of this pyramid by putting in a back wall here. Let's just extend the cardinal rays out 1 more block. So, having looked it up on the wiki, apparently dripstone just takes absolutely forever to grow. So, I'm going to be paying the villagers a sooner visit than I had initially expected. Because I hear mason villagers have a chance of trading dripstone on me. And I'd already decided that I wanted a mason villager so that I can make flower pots. So let's head back on down to the mason a little bit trapped in his house, but hey, he'll be safe there, and will not die to any more cliff-related getting stuck issues, so net positive, right? He's nice and safe and sound in here. Now, what new trades will unlock? Mason? Ah, inconvenient. Let's head over to the other village. See if there are any loose villagers who would like to become librarians. And therefore accept a bunch of paper. One of the nice things about having casually stolen a bed from the villagers is that I get to do this. Look at that glorious setting sun. Isn't it so majestic? Such a beautiful source of light. And oh, look at the sunrise. And look at all of the night that we didn't have to deal with in the middle. Well, that is a conveniently located cleric and a villager with no job. Hello, villager with no job. Would you like to be a librarian? Ooh, thou art a librarian with a paper trade. Perfect. I mean, it might have been better to get a librarian with a mending trade right away, but a paper trade allows me to get more emeralds. And that's a good thing. So, in conclusion, I am going to have endless flower pots as I attempt to level up this mason. That's one too many flower pots. I would like to have my open space, please. That works. And see, the flower pots on the shelves just help bring this entire little section together. Okay, and I get that this is ridiculous. But let's put an anvil way up there. It's going to be a long time before I need a smithing table. But it rounds out that wall of tools that I have never gotten around to filling in, so I need it for the aesthetic. Now let's just check one thing. Does my star look better in polished diorite? Answer: at minimum, the cardinal directions are in polished diorite, thank you. On the other hand, the little plus sign in the middle and then all of the rays coming on out, and each being effectively 2 blocks long afterwards. No, I think that symbol looks better like that. That's not going to be all that much renewable lava if I replace the diorite blocks with dripstone. Speaking of, these diorite blocks should in fact be dripstone. And I think this entire inner area is going to be moss and flowers. Now let's bring some moss up mountain with me to lay out moss channels where shall fall the rivers of fire. Because yes, I have been specifically testing which stuff is going to catch on fire with the intention of making my sun temple just a tad a health and safety hazard. Ooh, I can put drip leaf. Cute little temple. So cute. Let's just try to keep some of these distributed semi-sensibly. I don't want it to be just roses in that corner. Yeah, that works, I think. Leaves me with the question of what am I doing with these two corners of the sun temple. But other than that, this is actually starting to come together into something that looks rather nice. And that block should not be there. It can go instead there. I'm aware that that is a star rather than a sun on the far side of my temple, but we praise here all light-giving entities equally, and the sun is also a star. Or maybe we don't praise all of them equally, because praise be the sunlight. And forget trying to get down the mountain in time. I have a bed on me. I mean, I didn't need to go down the mountain, I just... Absolute height of laziness. Carry a bed with you, everywhere. Also, absolute height of paranoia. Monsters can't get you if it is never ever nighttime and you never go underground. And sure, it's not the biggest sun temple, but it's so cute and cozy in here. I love it. What I'm thinking about there is the outer gates. Because hey, I can extend it by an outer gate setup, and it gives a reference for what the outer gates look like. Where do I put my sacred beehives in my temple complex? The nether portal is going to be going like here. Let's abut my gate on this side up against the edge of terrain. And yes, this is an absolutely vital portion of my temple. Laying out what these sacred gates actually look like, so that later on in my challenge, when I have to build more of these sacred gates, I have a clue what I'm doing. And since I'm pretty sure that that is contained, we get to test, does that cause wood placed here to catch fire? I heard the sound of a block broken. Ah, my flowers catch fire. And I will just leave that lava there to sit and determine whether or not that wood actually catches fire at any point. Because if it doesn't, that's a safe distance to build a wooden wall. It continues to look like that wood is not catching on fire. What's going on with this wood? It means then that I can put beehive area there. Yeah, I think that works. I think the grass would have honestly worked better. But I don't have silk touch. Bonus points on the distance that it actually needs to be safe to. The moss blocks should be flush with the granite, not extending out a block. Right, and now I'm just going to go run north, acquire more dripstone, and come back and finish this temple. Because I want it to be finished this episode, gosh darn it, and it will not be if I wait for the dripstone under my base to grow. And I just realized one other block on my sun temple that needs to be notably different from what it currently is. There should be a gold block at the center of the star. Obviously. Well, I don't have to go anywhere near as far as I thought I was going to get my dripstone. Provided I can figure out a way to survive that descent. And there we go. I have my dripstone. Now to just leave. And now to just test that every water source, when applied, does not it anywhere loose that it shouldn't be. Also, where is my wolf? Because I just heard it make a hurt noise. Like, let's have both my pets sit down somewhere safe. Let's just test that on every wing. Because I have to check. I have to make certain. If I've made any mistake and lava gets loose, that would be bad, and that could potentially spell the end of a hardcore. Run. Yep, and then I can just put more of those gold blocks as I get more gold with which to flex. But let's begin lighting up the Sun Temple. What's a little worship of the burning sun without a little risk of self-immolation? Now, the real problem is going to be if my stairs catch fire. Which they might, but hopefully they won't, because I'm pretty sure I tested that earlier, and for some strange reason, my stairs just kept not catching fire, so here's hoping they will continue to stay not on fire. But that is a very satisfying image. The only way it would be more satisfying is if that was also properly lava. So in conclusion, when I'm done filling up all of the lava, I have to take a screenshot with the sun setting perfectly, like this. Oh, the disappointment that that bed was around the wrong way. And with that, it is done. Level 2 of the challenge will commence in the next episode. I'm so happy with how my little sun temple turned out, and I'm even more happy with the fact that my stairs still have not caught fire. So, the glorious setting sun sliding smoothly between the blocks of my sun temple, it is time to call this episode over. See you all in the next episode, where I have to deal with the consequences of having a fully finished sun temple.